Hello, I'm Lauren with IndoorGardening.com, and today we're going to talk about 5 common mistakes you might be making when plant shopping. Plant shopping, either online or in person, can be a very difficult thing to do. It's really hard to be able to tell what kind of plants are going to grow what way, whether they're healthy or not, are you getting a good price. There are a lot of different factors that go into plant shopping, and these are just some common mistakes that happen all the time, and being aware of them might help you to be able to have a better plant collecting experience. Okay, so first up is believing the tags and the labels. A lot of times, especially if you are in big box stores, those labels on the plants are going to have the wrong name on them, or they will have something like home decor or decorative foliage. They won't actually have the name of the plant on there, and likely the care requirements that they have on those tags are not going to be accurate either. Also, when you go into some nurseries and some plant stores, you might see things labeled as rare. This is especially common online if you're shopping on Etsy or some other stores. Online, you are going to see things labeled rare. A lot of times what is actually labeled rare is very common. It's out there all the time. You'll see like a rare philodendron ginny. They're very common and they grow like crazy. So just being aware and not believing the tags and actually researching the plant for yourself can actually save you quite a bit of money in the long run. Just because something says rare on it doesn't mean that it's something that you should jump on and spend a whole bunch of money on right away. Just research your plant, save your money, and figure out what's actually going to be a good deal for you. Most of the plants that are actually really rare are not going to be listed on those particular sites. Most of the ones that are hard to find are not going to be out there using tags like rare. It's extremely rare, ironically, if that actually happens. So just know that it's not always going to be actually rare just because it has it on the tag. And to pay attention to the tags. Number 2 is not checking for pests before you bring your plants home. You want to look under the foliage, you want to look on top of the foliage, you want to check the stems. There might be little mealybugs under little sheaths in there. If there are any dry spots on your plant, if you notice any kind of fungus on there as well, that's another thing that can spread from plant to plant. So it can actually cost you quite a bit of money if you bring plants home that have a whole lot of pests on them. It can cost you money in treatment. It can cost you a lot of time. If it spreads to your other plants, then you can have issues with that as well. So just making a quick run through and double checking while you're in the store can ensure that you don't have a huge outbreak as soon as you get home. You have a little bit of time to quarantine your plant just to verify that there is indeed nothing wrong with it. Next up is not being aware of a plant's growth pattern. If you don't know how a plant grows, you don't know if it's a slow grower or a fast grower, you don't know if it's a climber or a trailer, you're not going to be able to accommodate it in your home, or you will have some difficulty accommodating it in your home. You can also end up spending quite a bit of money. If it is a fast grower, you can get it as a small plant and a small cutting, have a very big, bushy, beautiful plant for a very little bit of money. If it is a slow grower and you get a 2-leaf cutting, then you might be stuck with just 2 or 3 leaves for years at a time, depending on the type of plant you get. So knowing the growth pattern of your plant is very critical in order to be able to save you money and in order to ensure that you're getting the plant that you want for that money. The other aspect of that is if you know that you want big, bushy, beautiful leaves on a plant and you don't have a place for that plant to climb, it's probably not going to get those big, bushy, beautiful leaves. If you want a big, beautiful trailing plant, you may need to buy 2 or 3 of them in order to keep them full atop and able to trail for you and look nice. For example, string of hearts, Ceropegia woodii. They tend to be very bald up top, and they tend to only have a few vines unless you chop and prop. So they do grow very quickly, but if you buy a few of them and put them all in one pot, it'll look more full for you and you'll get that full trailing look. You can also buy them small and then get that big bushy plant over time because they are quickly growing. So it just depends on the methods and how you are going to be doing it, what's going to be best for you. But knowing how your plant is going to grow and the rate it's going to grow can really save you a lot of time. The next mistake we want to talk about today is buying plants that are clearly suffering. They're generally in the clearance section. If they are super overwatered and they have a lot of issues, It's not a mistake to buy them if you know the pattern of the plant, you know it's going to thrive in your conditions, and you know that you can take care of it. It's not a mistake to do that. But if you are buying a brand new type of plant, you pay full price for that plant, and it has a bunch of health issues that you're going to have to try to learn to overcome when you get home, you're setting yourself up for failure. A lot of folks end up doing this. They think, oh, I'll just buy this $2 clearance plant, bring it home, kill the plant, and then they're sad and they think that they can't take care of plants. That's not the case at all. You can take care of plants. You absolutely can take care of plants. You just picked the wrong one, unfortunately. You were a bad plant picker for one plant, or you made a mistake. And it's okay. It happens. We have all done it. And that's why they put them there in the clearance section, so that people will get them and take them home, hopefully save them, sometimes if not. Generally speaking though, you should only get a plant that clearly has issues if you are willing and able to take care of it with your skill level and you are very, very knowledgeable about that plant. Otherwise, it's just going to be a waste of time, effort, and money for you usually. And the next one is buying plants that cannot survive in your home conditions. If you live in a very hot and very dry area and you try to bring in something that likes very humid and very tropical conditions, it is not going to make it unless you make accommodations in your home for it. So if you don't have the room for it, if there's not going to be room for it to climb and grow, and there's not going to be a very humid location for it, then it's not going to make it. So the opposite is also true. If you live in a very dark, very cold, very wet climate, you try to bring succulents and cacti into that environment, unless you have a way to reduce humidity and produce heat and a lot of light, it's not going to work out. So just keep this in mind when you're purchasing plants. The conditions of your home are going to determine the health of the plant, and we need to make sure that we are researching and aware of the needs of the plants before we bring them into our homes. Otherwise, they're just going to die, and all of that time and money will be wasted. Buying plants can be very fulfilling. Having a bunch of plants in your home can be very, very fulfilling. It's an amazing hobby to get into. It's an amazing thing to learn how to grow all of these plants. Hopefully these tips make it a little bit easier for you to have a better and more enjoyable plant collecting journey. Don't forget to check out indoorgardening.com. There's lots more information there for you, and we are always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!